Hi, my name is Nifa, and I'm here to give you some few tips that are going to help you ease in your any language learning process. So, if you want to learn any language and you don't know what to start with, like you don't know what to start with, so that you can ease in your learning process. Now, here are some tips. The first thing that you have to focus on, that you have to start with, is to learn a lot and a lot of vocabularies, as many as you can. You understand what is vocabulary? So you don't know what vocabulary is? Now, vocabulary is those are all the words, the actual words you hear in a certain language, whether it's Swahili, Chinese, English, Turkish, and a lot others. So the actual words, all the words you hear in that language you want to learn, we call them vocabulary. So, where are you going to get a lot? Where are you going to learn those vocabularies? You have to buy a dictionary. You have to have a dictionary. I recommend a hard copy. That's the best thing you can have. You have to have the dictionary. You need to listen to a lot of music, a lot of songs of a certain language that you want to learn. You need to watch a lot of movies. That is going to help you simplify your learning process. So as for me, when I was learning English, I used to watch a lot of movies. I had like three dictionaries. I was listening to lots of music, like reading the lyrics, claiming them like I was stirring them in my head, like a lot as I could. And also, you have to practice speaking, talking, because you can actually talk or speak a certain language without you mastering or knowing the grammar of the language or accent. So practicing make it easier for you to learn. And the second thing that you have to focus on when you want to learn any language is grammar. What is grammar? Grammar is the structure of that language you want to learn. The structure, the construction of that language, how it's written, how it's spoken. So in grammar, you get the sentence structure, how they construct the sentences, how they speak, so that they can be understood. They can be understood. You get the tenses in grammar. You get the plurality and singularity of that language in grammar. You get a lot. There's a lot there. Like in English, there's also articles like they, and so many more. Also, the third thing that you have to focus on is pronunciation. After you have mastered the grammar, though you cannot master it all because the language is constructed with a lot of things that you cannot master them in a short period of time or in a certain time because the language always expands. So after you master some part of grammar, some part of that language construction, you have to now start learning the pronunciation of that language, of those words you have learned, how to speak those words, how to pronounce them correctly so that people can understand you. So, the first thing I said is vocabulary. That's the major thing to learn. The major thing to learn because you cannot start learning a certain language without you knowing the actual words that you're going to speak or actual words that you're going to write or, you know, because those are what's going to help you ease in your process. You have to know the meanings, the words and their meanings. Vocabulary are the actual words, so you have to know the words and their meanings. So that is going to help you ease in your learning process. That's why I recommend you to use the dictionary. You understand? So after the vocabulary, and actually you can speak any language without you mastering the grammar, I said, and the accent, because that's why we have pidgin. You know what pidgin is? That is language that is developed when two people of different languages meet. Let's say a Chinese man meets Tanzanian man and they all speak their own language. Let's say they know English just a little bit. So what they're going to develop there, maybe let's say they know English, some of English words. So actually they're not the language that they are going to use will have no grammar, no structure at all. So they're like come, go, give, get, take. That's it. That's why I say you can actually speak any language without you knowing the grammar or the accent. That's why the major thing to learn, the first thing you have to focus on is vocabulary. And then after vocabulary, you now learn the grammar, and after the grammar, you now learn the pronunciation so that you can be fluent in that language you want to learn. And after you have learned the pronunciation, you now learn accent as a bonus so that you can be like total fluent. If you want to be a fluent in a certain language, you also have to learn the accent, how those people speak, the rhythm of that language, the lines and ups, the upside and downsides of that language, like the tones. And yeah. So the accent is also important, though it's not that important. You can actually speak any language without you knowing the accent. Example, we in Africa, let's say in Tanzania, we have our own accent. Kenyans have their own accent. Nigerians have their own accent. And they actually speak English. We all speak in English, but we have different accents. America, they have their own accent. Um, in where we have British accent. So you can actually speak English without you knowing the accent. So it's good to have to know that to have the accent. It is good when you're talking. Yeah. So I hope I helped you to some extent. Until next time. Bye.